Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar from Telerik India. We normally do these webinars every Thursday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. India Standard Time. Today we are going to be looking at how to build hybrid mobile applications using Telerik Kendo UI. A brief about myself. If you're a regular, you would have known by me, you would have known who am I. So the picture is mine. So that's the face behind the voice today. My name is Lohit. I work as a technical evangelist with Telerik, and I'm a Microsoft MVP in the area of ASP.NET and IIS. I'm part of a B.NET user group in Bangalore. It's known as Bangalore.NET user group. I'm one of the active members there. And I'm also an author. I authored a book on Windows Phone application development using F#. If you're on Twitter, you can tweet to me. This is my official email ID, lohit.nagaraj at telerik.com. Somebody is saying my microphone is not coming quite good, so let me see what I can do. Just give me a second. So recording devices, this is the default. I hope now it's a little bit clear. So I've reset my microphone, and then you guys should be able to hear it pretty clear. I see that my let's get going. So that's about me. So some of the links that you should be aware of, it's www.telerik.com. That's our global corporate website. Telerikhelper.net, that's where myself and then my colleagues, we keep writing about Telerik technologies, and then how do you work with Telerik technologies, all those things. Karshipas.com is my personal website where I mostly write about ASP.NET, and if you want to know more about me, that's the short link, about.me/Karshipa. So first, let's talk about those of you who are saying you're having a problem, my microphone is 100%. I request you to go to File Preferences, Audio, and then check that your hardware is correctly mapped. Normally what it does is it takes the speaker as the hardware for the audio. If you have an headset, you got to explicitly tell GoToMeeting that you need to be using the headset. So I request you to go to File Preferences and then Audio, and then check your audio hardware. So today, first let's try to understand the different mobile application development paradigms. Paradigms is nothing but a very hyped up word, which means nothing but models. What are the different models in which you build mobile application today in this world? So there are only three models, or three what do you call paradigms, right? I like to call them. So native apps, mobile web apps, and hybrid apps. So basically, when it comes to native apps, what this means is you are developing very close to the native environment. So for example, let's take the case of Windows Phone. If you want to create a native application for Windows Phone, you have to be in the Visual Studio. That's the IDE, or that's the editor that Microsoft has provided, and then you will use the language like C# or F#. And these are all native languages, and then you cannot develop this outside this environment, meaning you cannot develop it outside Visual Studio or outside of C#. You've got to be in Visual Studio, you got to be in C#, and that's why we call it as this is a native application development paradigm or model. Similarly, when it comes to other platforms, you have iOS, you have Android. So for iOS, it's Xcode and Objective-C. Xcode is the editor, Objective-C is the language. For Android, it's Eclipse and Java. So of course, I know there is Android Studio now, but predominantly most of the people are well versed with Eclipse. So Eclipse is an editor, Java is the language, and then you're closer to the metal, you're closer to the environment, the native platform, and then that's why we call this as native applications or native application development. So next in between native is something known as mobile web application. So basically what this means is you have an HTML page which is styled to render well on a device, but it's not as if like this page is running inside the device. No, the page has been hosted on a web server, in some server, and you expect the end user or the user who is having a device to launch a browser and then navigate to, like, let's say http://www dot, whatever your website.com. So once somebody hits that particular page from a mobile web browser, what you have done is you have styled your HTML in such a way that it looks good on a mobile browser and it looks like an application on the mobile browser. But this is not a native app which is running on the device. Rather, this is a page hosted on a web server, and somebody uses browser to go there and then do it. So this is the second paradigm, or this is the second model in which you can build mobile applications. So this is a mobile web app. The third one, which is a little bit flexible between the native and the mobile web app, is known as hybrid apps. So the terminology is hybrid mobile application. It's basically written with web technologies, like you use HTML for the front end, you use JavaScript for coding, you use CSS for styling your pages. So that's why it's written in web technologies. But this runs on device. It's not as if like you're asking somebody to open a browser. No. This is like you create a hybrid app and then you will submit it to the app stores, and then from the app store somebody can download it and then install it on their device, and then when they click on the app, it's as if it is running on the device. Well, it is running on the device. It's not as if it's running on the device, rather it is there. And it leverages the device's browser engine. Every platform has its own browser engine. For example, Windows Phone, it has IE. IE 11 is what is on Windows Phone 8. So it uses the IE8 render engine, the browser engine, to render the application. And then there is no Chrome, meaning there is no file bar or a menu bar or a status bar, nothing. The whole app is full-blown. It comes completely full screen as if it's an app, but it's actually the browser engine which is coming up. So these are the three different paradigms, or three different models in which you can build mobile applications. Native app, closer to the native platform. Mobile web app, well, it's using web technologies, but it is hosted on a web server. Hybrid app, it's written with web technologies but runs on the device. So you may ask, what is hybrid app, right? That's fine. We just understood the three different ways of doing the mobile applications, but what exactly is a hybrid app? So next up, in the next slide, what I'm going to talk about is definition of hybrid app. So it's fairly simple. It's not complicated as the name sounds. It's a hybrid app is something which is done using heterogeneous source, meaning it's written with technology used for websites and mobile web implementation. So that means you're using HTML, you're using JavaScript, you're using cascading style sheets. So it's all three different sources. It's not as if like I am always on Java, or I'm always on Objective-C, or I'm always on Visual C#. Rather, here it's a heterogeneous source that you use: HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. So it's written with these technologies. It's hosted or runs in the native container on the device. So native container is nothing but the browser engine. So I'd like to call this as it's a marriage of web technology with native execution. So basically, heterogeneous source, we are using HTML, JavaScript, CSS. Those three are completely different kind of technologies. And it is a technology which is used for website development or a mobile web application development. But using those, we create an app which will be hosted or which will run inside a native container on the device. So it's not as if like you're being shown a browser. No, you'll never come to know that this is a browser. Then as I said, it's a marriage of web technology plus the native execution. So we looked at the definition of what, but now let's try to understand how. How is this possible, right? So basically, as I said, under the hood, there is nothing but it's a web browser control. It's a known fact that HTML cannot be understood by anybody else other than the browsers, right? So under the hood, what happens is, as I said, the native container or the browser engine is nothing but your web browser control. So when you keep the web browser control, you get a full screen format. So there is a native browser rendering engine. So under the hood, it's nothing but a rendering engine. The device capabilities are provided as JavaScript API. So of course there is a very famous open source what do you call the library called as Cordova or Apache Cordova. Earlier it used to be called as PhoneGap. So when I'm creating HTML, using HTML to create the app, what if I need the device capabilities? So for that, what happens is it's basically you will have JavaScript API to you. So you don't have to worry. Rather, you just say, hey, Cordova, I need camera. Hey, Cordova, I need contact. So Cordova will make sure that when your code is running in iPhone, it knows what is the native API to be invoked. But for your code, it's always Cordova JavaScript API and then the Cordova object dot get something, or whatever the exact things will be. So when it is running, when you package the same code on a Android, it's the same thing. So Cordova knows that on an Android, what is the native API it has to invoke. So as you can see, native wrapper is compiled around HTML, CSS, and JS. The interop layer connects the JavaScript API with the native API. So the interop layer that we are talking about is the Cordova magic that happens. So they give you the Cordova JavaScript API, but when they package it, they have a interop layer coming in. So when your JavaScript calls Cordova's JavaScript, the Cordova's JavaScript goes ahead and then knows how to do a native invocation of the API. So that's as simple as it can get. So that's why hybrid apps can run on any platform. Cordova has the APIs for all the platform. So literally you can create one source code for your application, and then you can pretty much build it and then package it and then run it on any platform that you know of. For example, Windows Phone or iOS or Android or BlackBerry. So any platform you will be able to package it, but your source code is written only once. So now we understood what is hybrid mobile app and then how a hybrid mobile app has been works. So now the next question obviously that comes to anybody's mind is, when should I use hybrid mobile application format or the model? Well, you want to target multiple mobile platforms, right? So so basically that's the bottom line. I want to build an application, but I want to target multiple platforms, but I am a web technology guy. So I have the skills of HTML, I have the skills of JavaScript, I have the skills of CSS, and I want to build a mobile application, and I want to be able to reach multiple platforms. Well, then the answer for you is hybrid mobile applications. It takes, you want to take advantage of the device capabilities also, and then you want an offline usage scenario, and then you don't need a advanced graphics. Of course, mind you, this hybrid mobile application development model will not work when you have an advanced graphics coming in. HTML cannot give you the advanced graphics. It's a known fact. The frames per second tends to deteriorate because it's a browser engine, it's doing the software rendering and then all those things. So basically it's not going to work out. So if you want to reach multiple platforms, if you want to target multiple platforms, you want to take care of the device capabilities, you want an offline usage, plus you are a basically you are a web technology guy, and you know the HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. So you want to make use of these skills that you have, then it makes sense to use hybrid mobile application. Write once, package it for different platforms, and then it's going to run seamlessly on all the platforms. So this is like something that our think tank in Telerik came up with. If you see here, it's basically, it has two axes. The horizontal axis is talking about platform affinity, and then the vertical axis is talking about access to device capability. So first, let's try to understand native apps. If you look at the positioning of the native app, where is it? It's on the vertical axis on the top. So that means it has high access to device capability. But if you look at the platform affinity, it's literally zero. That is, if you create an iOS app, it cannot run on Windows Phone, it cannot run on Android. If you create a Windows Phone app, it cannot run on iOS, or it cannot run on Android. So that's why the native apps have zero platform affinity, meaning they cannot run on other platforms. They can run only on their platforms. Whereas the native apps have, of course, because they are native, they're close to the metal, they have access to all the device capabilities. Now let's take a look at the second model that we talked about, mobile web apps. The mobile web apps platform affinity is very high, meaning every platform, the mobile platform has a browser inbuilt. So you can just open the browser and then navigate to http:// yourwebsite.com, and then of course, so on all the platforms this can be done. So that's why the mobile web applications have high platform affinity but zero access to device capability. Since it's being run inside the browser and since the page has been pushed from a server, the pages are all sandboxed. They cannot go outside of their web pages, and then you have zero device access capability in those situations. So if you don't need a, let's say if you don't need any device capabilities, and you just want data to be shown in terms of a mobile application, this makes sense, right? If you think that people can connect to the internet, they're okay to open up a browser and then navigate to your pages, you can create the mobile web app. So cross-platform affinity, written with web technologies, runs on a server, viewable on multiple devices, centralized updates, meaning you can keep updating the app on your backend, on your server. So people will start getting, whenever they come in next and go to the page, they get the updated page. Now let's take a look at the hybrid app. So if you see, it's been positioned at high access to device capability, high access, and it has a high platform affinity, meaning it can run on pretty much all the platform, and it can get all the device capabilities thanks to Cordova, Apache Cordova JavaScript API. So this is something that you guys need to be sure or need to understand when you have to go and then decide upon, okay, what way of mobile application I should develop. Is it native? Is it a mobile web app? Or a hybrid app? So today we're going to be looking at, so this is what we're going to be looking at. I want to use Visual Studio, and then I'll introduce you to something called known as Kendo UI Mobile Controls, and then we have an IDE known as an extension known as App Builder. So that helps you to simulate, that helps you to package, that helps you to do all the other stuff. And then you can build for Android, iOS, or Windows Phone. That's what I'm going to showcase today in this particular webinar. So this is the premise of what we're going to be doing next. Visual Studio, we'll use Kendo UI Mobile Kendo UI Mobile control set, and we'll use the App Builder, which is known as which was formerly known as Icenium. App Builder is an extension that sits in Visual Studio and gives you the capabilities of simulating Android, Windows Phone, tablets, everything. So and then Kendo UI Mobile controls are all adaptive rendering HTML5 based framework for mobile controls. Yes, the Kendo UI Mobile control is free. The App Builder is also free but there is a tier known as Starter Edition. So in the Starter Edition of Telerik Platform, you will get the App Builder for free, but you can build only 2 projects out of it. Otherwise, the Kendo UI Mobile controls are all free. So let me just quickly take a moment to make you understand what is Kendo UI Mobile. So Kendo UI Mobile is an HTML5 framework for building hybrid mobile application, as simple as that. And we recently open sourced something known as Kendo UI Core, and then Kendo UI Core contains Kendo UI Web as well as Kendo complete control set of Kendo UI Mobile. So in fact, you can pretty much now go and then download Kendo UI Core, and it gives you the mobile widgets or mobile controls, and you can start building on it. So you can use any editor to build it, but today I'm going to be showcasing something called as Kendo UI, the Telerik App Builder, which is an extension which sits in the Visual Studio and makes your life easier. So the Kendo UI mobile widgets that are available as part of the packages: action sheet, popover, scroller, scroll view, switch, tab strip, nav bar, button group, drawer, list view, modal view, all those things, and also other framework elements like application, forms, touch events, view, split view, layout. So this is we're going to be building a small application. So let me quickly get to the demo part of it as soon as I can finish this slides. So now let me introduce you to something known as Telerik App Builder. So it's an hybrid mobile app IDE, so you can actually build with our IDE on the cloud, meaning the Telerik App Builder is available once you log into platform.telerik.com. If you go there and sign up, the App Builder is available there. And App Builder comes in different flavors. One is on the browser itself, we give you the IDE. There is another thing called as App Builder Windows Client. and the one today I'm going to be using is App Builder Visual Studio extension. So questions have been asked in the questions panel, that is App Builder free. As I said, App Builder is part of Telerik platform. So let me show you the what I mean by that. So if you go to telerik.com/platform, you will see that we have something released called as Telerik Platform. This is a complete platform for developing mobile application. We give you the backend, we give you the application building, we give you the analytics, we give you the okay, hang on. So the screen lag is happening. So just give me a second. Looks like the audio is faster than my video. Hang on, so I'm not sure what is happening. The GoToMeeting is not showing my browser window. I have my browser open. Just give me a second. I'm going to stop. Yeah, there's a question asked like, is App Builder only for creating hybrid apps and that too using Telerik? App Builder can be used to build any hybrid apps using either the jQuery mobile, or we have Kendo UI Mobile, so you can use it anyway. I'm not sure why GoToMeeting is not able to show my browser, but I would say just please visit telerik.com/platform, and then if you go to try now, you will be able to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Once the 30-day is finished, your trial, we automatically downgrade you to what is known as a Telerik Platform Starter Edition. As part of Telerik Platform Starter Edition, you will be able to get the App Builder, you will be able to get the Telerik Analytics, you'll be able to get the Telerik testing, all those things, and you will be able to do only 2 projects are out of this, but you will be able to log into App Builder, work on it, do the build simulation, everything can be done with that. During registration, no need to give a credit card. Credit card is required only when you want to purchase it. So trials are all free. I'm not able to figure out what is going on. It's not doing my browser is not being projected onto the GoToMeeting. I'm not sure what's happening. So yeah, it's a complete the app. I'm going to show a demo wherein you can see that App Builder allows you to build Android APKs. It allows you to build iPhone IPAs. It allows you to build Windows Phone .zap files, and then you can just download those, upload to the marketplace, or do whatever you want. But with this extension, it is super easy to do all those things. So today we're going to be looking at something called as App Builder Visual Studio extension. So you can download the extension from this particular URL. So it's cdn.icnm.com/live/vs/icnm.physics. So you just install the extension from here, and then as you can see, it will get installed in Visual Studio, and then we can start creating things from there onward. So that's all the slide that I have. Now I'm going to start getting into the demo part of it. So let me get my Visual Studio. So now, in the interest of the time, what I have done is I've already gone ahead and then I have installed our Visual Studio extension for what do you call the I have installed our app builder extension. So I'm just trying to see if my browser can be projected. I'm not sure. It's not detecting my browser at all. Okay. Okay, so I'll come back. So let's see. So now, when you after installing there is no academic license for Telerik Platform. All you can do is just go sign up. We don't care about your student or a professional, but the 30-day free trial is available. Once you pass 30-day free trial, you will be downgraded to what is known as a starter edition. In the starter edition, you can create 2 hybrid mobile application. You can make use of 2 backend services. You can make use of 2 analytics service. So like that. So and the usage of app builder will be free once you become starter edition, but you can build only 2 projects. So now I've installed the extension. So just to show you that extension has been installed, I'm going to Tools, Extensions and Updates. Yeah, the question is, can we create only 2 apps after 30 days trial and no more? Yes, the starter edition, of course, nothing comes for free. So the starter edition will only allow you to create 2 projects. What I'm trying to say is, if you use our Telerik platform, yes, that allows you to create only 2 projects in the platform, but you are free to download Kendo UI. If you go to telerik.com/kendo-ui, that's the product page. There you will see that we have something known as Kendo UI Core. The Kendo UI Core contains Kendo UI Mobile controls. So our mobile controls are all free. Our mobile controls are open source, so you can use that and then build any number of apps you want, but you cannot use app builder, the IDE, to further build anything, because the app builder is part of our Telerik platform, and once you sign up for the platform, it will allow you to build only 2 projects using the app builder. But you can directly open up a notepad, put bunch of JavaScript, bunch of style sheets, and then how and then add the Kendo Mobile style sheet, Kendo Mobile JavaScript, and then start building it. So you need a notepad, then you will use a Chrome or Firefox, and you will emulate, okay, show me how does it look like Android, how does it look in iOS, how does it look in Windows Phone. So that's the pain that you would have to take if you don't use app builder. Mind you, the message that I'm trying to give you is, Kendo UI Mobile Controls is open source. It's known as Kendo UI Core. That's the product name. You just have to go to telerik.com/kendo-ui, and then you will be able to see that there is a separate package called Kendo UI Core. As part of the Kendo UI Core, the Kendo UI Mobile controls are free. You can use the controls for free for personal or commercial usage. But App Builder is a completely revolutionary. I'll show you the UIs. It's a completely different beast. It helps you to do the simulation. It helps you to do the building. It helps you to debug everything by its own UI. So that's what I'm going to show now. So if you see here, now I've installed App Builder. So this is what you see, Telerik App Builder. That's what you would need to have in order to use whatever I show now. So now once you install our App Builder extension, what we do is we go ahead and then add a project template. If you see on my screen now, on the left hand side in the Visual Studio, I have this Telerik and then App Builder as an item template. With App Builder, you can create a blank JavaScript mobile application, blank TypeScript, jQuery mobile, Kendo UI mobile app, and then Kendo UI mobile app with data visualization. So these are the different things that are available for you. So I'm going to go and then say, okay, show me Kendo UI. I want to do Kendo UI mobile app. So I will give mobile project 1. So I'll just keep it as is. So now I say okay. So what you see now is a full-fledged application. Okay, let me explain the project structure. So let me bring in my Solution Explorer. So this is the project that you see, and you will see that we have an index.html. This what I've created is a Kendo UI mobile application, and then by default Kendo UI mobile applications are single page applications. So there's literally only one page, that's index.html. As you can see, we bundle Cordova.js because that's the only JavaScript library which will help you to access the device capabilities. Then we have the styles. Of course, this is my project style scripts. This is my project script, and then we bundle Kendo along with it. So if you see here, Kendo JavaScripts have been already put. We depend on jQuery, so we already have bundled the jQuery, and Kendo.mobile.min.js is the basically the JavaScript. The magic that happens is because of this JavaScript. And then styles, the images, and then of course this is the default style that is required by Kendo. This contains all the magic, like how should I show a button in a iOS, how should I show the button in Windows Phone, how should I show the button in Android. So all those things coming up from there. And then now once we are done with that, let me show you what I can do. So this is a HTML file, right? So I can just go to the page where this is stored. So I'll open the containing folder. Then I can just click on index. Now it's going to open up the browser. If you do not have app builder, this is what literally you will do. Pretty much you will open up in a browser. I'm not sure what happened, so just give me a second. Scripts, app.js, mobile application, yes, everything is there. So you will use the browser to pretty much test it out. So now what I'm showing you now is we have a menu in Visual Studio called as App Builder, and then we have different things here. So one of the things is run this project in simulator. Okay, so I'm going to just click on that. My simulator is on the other window, so let me drag it to here. There you go. Without writing any line of code, when you say file new project using app builder, we actually create a sample app for you. So what is this sample app having? Note that I'm actually now running the code in Windows Phone. I'm simulating Windows Phone. So it says in the Windows Phone, I have this home button, I have this login, I have this location, I have this weather. So weather is a list view. So as you can see, we have bundled a basically a JSON data, a sample JSON data along with the application. You don't need to do that. You can actually connect to a service, web service, and then get the data in JSON format, bind it, in all those things. So what you're seeing here in the bottom is Kendo UI Mobile tab strip. What the tab strip control does is it kind of mimics the app bar of a Windows Phone. So this is a list view. So as you can see, this is mimicking the list view. And we have embedded a Google map. So I'm in Bangalore, so I can come back here and then say, okay, show me Bangalore. So you will see that on clicking the button, it's able to pinpoint the location to Bangalore. So there's nothing great there. So we have this username. So I can say I'm Lohit. So maybe some ABCD. Click on this, and you can see welcome Lohit, and it says log out. So if I click on log out, it comes back again to the thing. Then I can go to the home screen. It says Telerik App Builder enables you to build cross-platform device applications regardless of your development platform by combining the convenience of local development toolset with the power and flexibility of the cloud. So basically, it's the same code. So how is the code? So code, if you see here, well, in the sample that we have, we are embedding a Google Maps. It's not a here map. As I said, here map cannot be embedded into the hybrid mobile apps because this is HTML that we are using, and here map cannot be embedded inside this. What you can do is, yes, you can invoke here map from your app. You use the Cordova API and then use the app to app protocol and say whatever protocol the here map uses. You can always do that and then open the here map from your app. So just to give you a quick rundown on what is contained. So basically it has a div. Everything is a div. So this is the home view. And if you see here, we have a clear-cut documentation. This is the home view. This is the login view. And this is the location view. And this is the weather view. And then, whether the template. So we provide you templating. And then everything ties down with this something known as layouting. So let me increase my font. So if you see here, we just are defining a layout, and in the layout we are saying, hey, I want to have a header, I want to have a footer in my layout. Of course, the body of the view can be shown by the view itself, but we just define a layout and say in the layout I need a header and I need a footer. In header I want a nav bar. Nav bar should contain a view title, and in the footer we are using something known as tab strip. So this whole concept of data dash role, nav bar, data dash role, tab strip is all the keywords for the Kendo rendering engine. It will go ahead and then look for all these things. So this is a Kendo UI Mobile navbar control. This is a Kendo UI Mobile tab strip control. So our mobile engine, the rendering engine, the Kendo UI Mobile rendering engine, is going to go parse this and then convert this into that particular whatever control that you have asked for. And then the tab strip is nothing but the app bar for Windows Phone, and then you just say anchor and keep the anchor, and then this gets converted into this app bar. So whatever you see here in the bottom. So let me resize this. I'm not sure how to show you guys. 1 second. Yeah, there you go. So if you see here in the bottom, so you have these 4 buttons coming up. So those 4 buttons are nothing but the the anchor buttons that are added. So there's a question: will the map work without internet connectivity? Of course it will not, because I'm using a the Google Maps online version. It's not an offline map that we have embedded. So if there's no internet, you will see that it says, hey, internet is needed for the connecting to the maps. So that's what it is. So how is everything working here? So basically we need one line of code. So I have this something known as app.js. So in the app.js, everything boils down to this line. So if you see here, I'm creating an application property, and then I have said kendo.mobile.application, take the document.body, convert that into a Kendo mobile app, and the default layout that I want you to use is tabstrip_layout. So that's all. That's one single line makes this complete app become a Kendo mobile app. So that's why you are able to see, like, I'm able to do a lot of things, like I can go navigate between different pages. Not only that, let's assume that you want to see, how does this code look in iPhone? Okay, there you go. So this is the old way, or this iPhone. Let me do it. iPhone 5 version 7. If you see here, the tab strip has automatically become the flat tab strip of whatever iOS 7 has kind of introduced. So you have the same things available, and you can see that now this looks like a iOS. Same code. Let's say we package it and run on Android phone. There you go. So the tab strip went up. This basically, somebody is asking what is a tab strip. Well, tab strip is nothing but the iPhone and then Android UI guideline, which says that if you want to place menus or menu items on your app, that has to be like this. What you see here in the top, where I'm clicking the 4 buttons, they are known as the tab strip buttons, tab strip, and then each one is a tab strip item. So that's the control that we give, and automatically. So if you look at my code, in the code I have just said that in the footer I want the tab strip. So the Kendo UI mobile controls are all adaptive, are all intelligent enough to know that in Android the tab strip has to come on the top, but if I am on iPhone, the tab strip has to come on the bottom. As you can see, the tab strip is in the bottom of iPhone. When I go to Windows Phone, they know that the tab strip is nothing but an app bar. So when I package the same code and then install it on or push it to Windows Phone Store, or when I package and then push it to Android Store or iPhone Store, and when somebody downloads and then installs it and then runs it from their devices, you can see that it automatically knows what is the platform it is running in, and then the controls, they automatically render themselves with a native look and feel. So that is the magic of the Kendo UI mobile control. So that's why I said it's an HTML5 framework for creating adaptive rendering cross-platform native applications. So big words, but that's what you see. So now enough of this small demo that we had done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a live application now. I have 15 more minutes to actually build it. So let's see how we go. I'm going to, what happened to my recent solutions, and then I will say project 2. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and then created a application, and I have a service hosted in one of the, so let me see if I open up other browser, is it able to give me, is it able to render that? Wow, it's a problem with IE. IE is not getting rendered, so sorry about that. So now when I brought the Chrome, GoToMeeting is able to do it. So what I've done is I have a small JSON service hosted here. It contains a simple sushi menu. So just give me a second. What happened? The whole service looks like it's down. Let me check. There was a site known as myjson.com. So what I did was I have a specific JSON data with me. So I just went ahead and then placed it in this particular service. So it gives me an endpoint. The endpoint is pretty similar to like this. It says api.myjson.com/bins, and then it gives you a particular ID. So this is what I had. So I'm not sure what is happening. The API is not coming up. Let's see now. Oh, there you go. So when what I've done is I've created an API. Now assume this is a web service hosted in some other server. So now I want to read this, and as you can see, this is a sushi menu items, and they have the name, price, what image they are, what category they are, what is the description of that particular sushi, and then is it a featured item on today's menu or not. So that's the service that I have. I'm going to use that to build something now. As you can see here, I have the index.html, everything is empty. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go and then define my layout. So in the layout, what I've done is I've just said data-role header, data-role navbar. I want a title. So these things are all Kendo specific things. If you see here, data-role layout, so it tells the Kendo mobile engine that, hey, this block of element needs to be used as the layout for the mobile application. I've given it a name. I said default. This is the header that I want in the layout. So you will see that it comes on the top. And then navbar is nothing but, it can have a title, and I can put a back button, or I can put any other button on the navbar. So this is the title that comes up on the top. Same, I said this is the footer. In the footer, I need a tab strip. I want home, menu, cart, and then account. So I'm not going to do the account. I don't think I have time. So let me see. I have to kind of keep running fast now. So with this, what happens is if I go and then see, let me get the app builder. Yeah, there's nothing. Now if I bring in the app builder, there's nothing because we just defined the layout. We still don't have the views at all. So we have not created the view at all. So what it needs is a default view first. So what I will do is, of course, let me tell you also that, I already have all the CSS built in. I don't want to spend time on the CSS. So I already made all the CSS built in. And I'm going to be using this sushi.js, one of the JavaScript files that I'll be using. I have added references for everybody. That is, if you see here, I have reference for Kendo Mobile, and then I have the reference for the sushi. So first thing that, as I said, we need this line which says Kendo Mobile application. And of course, we're going to be looking as Windows Phone only. We're not going to be looking anything else. So next thing that I have to do is I just have to get a default view here. So what I have done is, let me cut this for a moment and then save this. Now you can see that, I'm getting the Kendo sushi coming up. So that is the now, now the layout is coming into effect. So what did we say in the layout? We said we need a header, we need a footer. And then what did the view say? If you see here, data-role view, that means this is a screen, or this is a page in my mobile application. And then I said data-title, and then I said data-layout to be used is default. And then I said data-model is view model, and then data before show home view. So we'll come to this data model and all those things. But for now, if you're thinking I'm bluffing, so I can say this is home view. And when I come back here, you will see that this is home view. So when I go to the particular page, it says this is home view. So that's good. So let me bring back to this particular thing. So what I've done is I want to show in the home view, I want to show all the featured sushi items. So I've created an unordered list, but I said I want this unordered list to be converted into a list view, a Kendo UI Mobile list view. So that's what you see here. I also need a template for each item. I'll come back to that. And then of course I have put in some CSS classes and all those things. And then you can see that out of the box, Kendo UI mobile applications are MVVM in nature. So I'm doing data binding. So I said, hey, the source for you is something called data source. So where will it find data source? You notice this data dash model. So what I've done is for each view, I can create a model and then provide that model, and then that is what gets bounded with the model. So it's like MVVM, you're giving a view model, I'm binding the view model with the view, and then all the internal elements can actually work on properties out of that view model. So now we need to build a view model, right? So what we'll do is we're going to say where view model is equal to kendo.observable. And so Kendo.observable is our framework for providing the observable things. So now I'm going to say data source is equal to new Kendo.data source. So this is a simplest way of telling, we need a data source. Sorry. Then here what I'm going to do is we have a property called as transport. And in the transport I can say read. So where should it read the data? So URL is, you remember I showed you the URL, so I can just say this. What is the data type that it is expecting? What I'm expecting to read? I need JSON, or it's coming as JSON. So now what I can do is I can just come in here. Some problem happened. So yeah, I know what it is. So we need the template to be defined. So what we just did was we said the view model has a property called data source. So that's what I've created. I have created a data source. I have used our Kendo UI data source called as kendo.data source. And then now I need each item to be represented in some way. So that is the template that I need to write. So what I'm going to do is, here is the menu template. So in the menu template, I'm doing nothing but placing some controls, like I said anchor, data role is a button, and data bind, when somebody clicks on this, it should call an add to cart, and then I'm creating an HTML5 based data dash attribute like item ID. What is item ID? I'm using Kendo's toString property here, and then here is interesting thing. So I want to show the image of the the sushi item. So I'm using image src content this, and then look at the scripting that we have here. This is the templating language that we have, #: and #= so #: image. So image is coming out of the each item that gets bounded at runtime, and then each property, it has a property called name, it has a property called image, and all those things. So now when I do this, it's going to take some time because I'm on a very bad network, so it's going to go get the data and then just bind it. And this is the app builder. There you go. So we got the data, and then data has been bound, and then of course I have done all the CSS that I need. But one thing I want you to notice here is this is the simulator that app builder gives you. What are the different kind of things you can do? You can flip your phone, you can rotate 90 degree, you can rotate again counterclockwise 90 degree, and then look at how Kendo UI mobile controls are able to adapt to the UI that is being given. So I can do this way in all those things. Let me bring it back. Yeah, and then I can do a refresh, I can do a reload, and I can do a debugging. So in the debugging, I can actually right click on somewhere and then say, hey, inspect this element, and you can see that we give you the WebKit kind of a thing, and then you can see that, oh, this is the sushi that I had that I'm looking at, and you have the resources, you have the network, you have the sources, you have the timeline, profiles, audits that you can do, and then of course the console. If you see here, it has all the consoles being given. So now this is fine, but what I want to do is when I click on a particular item, I want to go and then show the details. Plus, we need to handle this button click. So if I click this button, I want to add it to the cart then and there itself. So let's work on that. If you see here, I have this data dash bind, click, add to cart. So for this, what I will do is I'm going to come back here, and then I'll say added as a array, and then I'll say add to cart, is a function that I want to call. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that add to cart menu function. So what am I doing here? So in the function, all I'm doing is, remember that it sends me an item ID. When you click on it, it sends me an item ID. So I'm reading that ID. So it says e.data.id. So I'm getting that data, and then I look for, does it contain an ordered property on it? If not, okay, just go and then do a ordered property, get the 0. If the user clicks more than one time, I just add it up, and then I set that property on the current item itself, and then I add it to the the cart array that I have. One more thing we need to do is we need to have this show home view. I want to show only, remember, I want to show only the featured items. So what I'm doing is I'm just saying view model.data source. I don't want any grouping. Remove groupings if there are any. And then I said view model.data source.filter. Look for a featured field and get me only those values where featured is equivalent to true. So now when I come back here, you will see that it shows only the featured items. So it doesn't show the full items. Okay, so that's what we just did. And next thing that we need to do is we need to add the details view. Correct? When I click on this particular item, it is going to the details. You see this hash details. So that's what we'll interlink between pages. If you just say hash and an ID, and it goes to that particular div. So let me bring in details view now. Sorry. I don't think I have a details view. I'll come back to that. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to figure out something. So basically what I'm trying to do is I have to create this details view. So just give me a second. So the details view is nothing but it's going to have something like what was the item, all those things. So yeah, so the code is going to be something like this. So if you see here, I'm again going to be writing like a div, right? I'm going to be saying like div data dash role is view. What is the ID? The ID is the details. I want the transition to be slide. The layout that needs to be used is default. Again, I'm going to use the same view model, but when it is being shown, when the view is being shown, I want this JavaScript function to be called. And not only that, now I need something like this. So basically, I want to show the image path, right, of the current particular, what do you call, the current item that has been selected. I need a price to be shown. I need a button so that I can add it to the cart. So we already have written the add to cart. Then I want to show the name, description, and then of course the inner text that needs to be shown. So what you see here is a custom binding that I've created. It's known as src path, format, and then inner text. So these are not available as part of the Kendo, but I can create my own custom bindings that we saw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add those custom bindings that I need. So the bindings that I'm looking for is this binder, this, and then this. So I'll explain you what this is. So we have a data binding, concept, and then we have the binders available. So I'm just saying, hey, this is a particular binder which is getting extended from this. So it's like a subclassing, and then I'm saying when the binding gets invoked, I want you to do this. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm basically, uh, you know, creating I get the element on which the data binding is happening, and then I have the value that is getting bounded. So I can do a couple of things. It's pretty similar to what Windows 4 or the XAML in Windows World allows you to do custom value converters. So it's pretty similar to that. The binders are nothing but the value converters. So I have that, and then I need to have some function where it says what it needs to do. So what I'm doing is, I gave the ID, so I'm just saying set the current item on the view model to be the item that I clicked on the menu. So let's see what happens when I click on this. There you go. So basically, I have now created my own custom binding in order to show this 12 this image, and then I'm showing the image name, organic, these things. When I click on order, okay, we still haven't implemented that. Add to cart. So if I come back to the home and then click on that, if you can see here, it says item added to cart 1 times. So basically now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do one more thing. That's the cart, and then leave it. I think we are ending at the kind of. So I'm going to add a cart view. So in the cart view, what we're going to do is the same view model, and then I have a function called show cart view, and then I'm just going to show the total, and then also checkout, show checkout, all those things. Actually, this particular demo project is already available. So what I will do is when we write a recap of the blog post, we will actually, it's available on the GitHub. So I'll give you the source for the, link to that GitHub repo. You can pretty much take a look at that. So let me finish the cart view, and then it's interesting to see this. So what I need is on the view model, I need a total property. So I'm going to go back to here, and then I will say give me the total property. So in the total property, all I'm going to do is I know I have a added property, right? So I'm going to loop through that and then convert that into a string. Once I finished with the total property, I need the checkout to be handled. And then I need the checkout, show checkout. So should I show the checkout or not? So basically, this is possible only when return this dot get added dot length is greater than 0. That means if anything is added to the cart, then only kind of come back and then show me the checkout button, and then once done, it should go to the done, and then I need to have the cart list also shown. So this is the list view again, source added, cart item template. So I need the cart item template. So I'm going to add the cart item template now. It's pretty similar to what we did previously, but with just a button with a cross mark to remove item. So let me add a remove item property just to showcase. So I'll just have the remove item app property. So it's basically remove items from there. So now what I can do is I can go here, keep on adding everybody to the cart, go to the cart, and you can see like what happened. It's not bound. Oh, I know what needs to be done. So show details view. Just give me a second. There's a question, is it possible to build a background agent? So now the hybrid mobile application don't allow you to do all those things. It's basically you just create a app. The background agent is something that is provided in the what do you call in the native application development paradigm. That is the you can create a Windows Phone application, and then in the Windows Phone application you have this concept of background agent. So that is not what you can do here. Oh, thank you. Somebody is looking at very closely. I hadn't saved my thing, so let me go to the cart. There you go. So now you see the total, and plus, thank you very much, whoever it was. You said like, I haven't saved the index.html, so I was wondering what happened. So what I've just done is I showed you a cart wherein whatever is there in the added array, I'm able to see that in the cart itself. So I can pretty much say that, hey, here is the total for you, and I can of course click on the checkout. Now we don't have the UI created for that checkout, but basically you can see what is happening. Now that is fine. So another interesting thing that I want to show is how do you build this, right? So basically if you see here, it says build mobile project 2 in cloud, or I can go and then say publish mobile project 2. So basically I'll just use that. So if you see here, our what do you call, the app builder allows you to do a couple of things. One is I can create an app manager. I can push directly to something known as app manager. So app manager is a private organizational store, meaning within your organization you can create your own store, load different applications, meaning the mobile applications, and then you can control who can have access to that. There'll be a companion app on Android, iOS, and then Windows Phone, so people can just go in and then install it from there. So it's like your own private store for testing, all those things. You can directly build a package for Google Play and then upload it. You can build a package for iPhone. You can build a package for Windows Phone Store. So I can click on Windows Phone here, say next. So it's going to take a little bit of time. What it is doing is it's taking my source code from going to our cloud, Telerik Cloud, and then in the Telerik Cloud we have the PhoneGap build. So it will build the Zap package now and then come back and say, hey, I'm done. Do you want to download the Zap package? So I'm going to showcase that Zap package being downloaded. So let's give it a couple of more seconds. By the time, let me see some questions that I can take. Is Kendo for AngularJS available? Yes, we have Kendo for Angular, but that's more of a web application side. You don't need an Angular here because we have the Kendo data source, we have the Kendo binder, we have the Kendo MVVM. Everything that you need to build is available here, so you don't need anything extra. Otherwise, your app may become fat. Only dependency that we have is a jQuery, and that's it, and it starts working. Christian, you're asking for how much time does it usually take to build a package. So today what has happened is I'm on a very, very low bandwidth. So there you go. So basically it all depends on how much time it took for it to upload from my machine to our cloud and then come back. So I'm in a very low bandwidth, the network. So that's why it took that much time. Otherwise the building is pretty fairly, it depends on how much files you have and all those things. So now what has happened is I can download the file and submit it to the Windows Phone App Store. I'm clicking on download. What I will do is I will go here, workspace, Telerik, Kendo. Okay, let me keep it there. So I'm going to say my awesome app. Oh, did I give the extension right? Let me check. So this is available at workspace, Telerik, Kendo. Yeah, so as you can see, the Zap file has been created. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install it on my phone. I'm going to start project my screen, and so what you're seeing now is my phone. I'm connected to my Nokia Lumia 920. So that's the whatever you're seeing on the screen. Okay, now what I'm going to do is bring up Zap deployment. So I will say put it to the device. So let me bring these two together side by side so that you know that what is happening. So this is the moment of the truth. So let's see if my demo works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here and I say, hey, take my awesome Zap and then deploy. There's a question, iconography. No, we don't, I mean, it's all up to you. You have to provide those icons that you need. So the Zap deployment is completed. So let's see what's the name I gave. Was it awesome app? No, so that's a mobile project. There you go. I am not sure you're able to see this, but let me maximize this. So if you see here, I have this mobile project 2. So that is what we, I hope you guys are able to see this. So I'm actually projecting my Nokia Lumia 920 live on the, the GoToMeeting. I'm not sure how much this is making with the thing, but yeah, there you go. So that's the mobile project 2 that we just created. So let me click on it. Well, wait for it to be refreshed on your screen. It's taking a little bit of time because my bandwidth is very, very horrible today. So just bear with me for that. Oh, there you go. So now you're able to see the screen coming up. If you notice, I am connected on my phone to my 4G network or 3G network. I have the HSPA, and we are able to build and then deploy this onto Windows Phone. Similarly, I can build a package for Android. Similarly, I can build a package for iOS, and I can just deploy it. So let's click on ordering. If you see, it works the same. There's no change. I can just pretty much click on that, go to the cart, and there you go. It is as simple as you can get. You know HTML, JavaScript, CSS. That's it. That's all you need to create a mobile app now. So there you go. You can see here. I didn't have time to implement all the other things, but we did do this. That is, we can see the whatever item details. And then I can pretty much go and then say order. So not only that, I can, if I keep on clicking the first one, you will see like, item added to cart 2 times, item added to cart 3 times, item added to the cart 4 times. Now if I go to the cart, you will see that sesame salad is into 4. Just give it a second. It's pretty much going very slow on the network. But I think you got the point. What I'm trying to make is, using Kendo UI Mobile controls, you can pretty much build hybrid mobile apps, which can be, you can develop it once, target Windows Phone, target iOS, target, Android, target BlackBerry, any platform that you want. Just build the package. And somebody was asking, how do I deploy the package? Well, we just created a Zap file for you, and then all you need to do is use that Zap file and then upload it to Windows Phone Store. So basically you need a access to Windows Phone Store, and then you will have to upload the Zap file to that particular store. So that's pretty much what I had to show in terms of today. I know it's kind of a very fast-paced demo, but please, you can always write back to me if you have any, you need any information. So we will be able to, in the recap blog post that I do, I will be putting all the links, like the Kendo UI core, Kendo UI mobile controls, app builder, Telerik platform, and then this particular example that I built, the sushi. So the source code for the sushi is also available on the GitHub. So thank you very much for being with me for so long, and I'm going to stop recording now, and then I'll get to the question and answers. So thank you very much for those of you who have made it to the webinar. Then we also have a webinar coming up in the next month, so to keep a track of that on telerikhelper.net. So thank you, and have a good day.